Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Vision Pros Live. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher Ellingson. Today on the show, excited to talk with Mr. Marc Koehler. He is a speaker and an author of Lead with Purpose. We're talking about leadership today. Good morning and welcome to the show, Marc.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Fletcher.
My pleasure. You mentioned before we started recording that this is one of your favorite topics. It's also one of mine. We need solid leaders in our world. We need solid leaders in our lives. We need solid leaders in our marriage, in our parenting, in our schools. We need solid leaders. So looking forward to this conversation. But before we get to that, I always start off with this question because I want to remind people that despite all the uncertainty and suffering in the world, there is still good happening. There is whatever's there, wherever you want to look for bad, you're going to find bad. Wherever you want to look for good, you're going to find good. So, Marc, what's something that's going well in your life, either professionally or personally?
Oh, so I've been married for 30 years on September 11th, so in 6 days. So really excited about that and the relationship I have with my wife. Very, very strong. We've raised 3 strong women, 28, 26, and 24. They are crushing it in the world. They have their own challenges. So that's that's obviously a huge win. On the business side, a huge win is delving into speaking leadership from a keynote stage, and I'm able to have a much bigger impact. My experience was I was a U.S. nuclear submarine officer. I then became an interim turnaround CEO, and I created a powerful leadership framework based on the $1 million the Navy invested in me, leading, average age of the crew, 23 years old, on missions critical to national security, 10 months of the year underneath the surface of the ocean, a disruptive environment. And so bringing those skills and tools and teaching them to people and businesses has just been, it's always, fantastic, especially Gen Y and Gen Z, who are trying to figure out, hey, how do I become successful in this world? So I think that's the biggest success that I've seen, is just impacting more people's lives, because the tools that I teach are easy to implement, and they're also learnable and shareable. So the impact and ripple that has in an organization is very, very satisfying. That's a huge win.
Right on. I love hearing that. And so your children, your marriage is going well. You got a 30-year marriage. You have 3 daughters who are out there thriving. And I know
Yep.
also, because I'm a father of 5 kids, it's wonderful to see your children thrive and deal and navigate challenges powerfully and learn from them. And then then it sounds like you have an incredibly unique background, which positions you uniquely for keynoting. And yeah, I can't even imagine some of the experiences that you must have had under high stakes, high pressure, really, and then also leading these young people. Wow, what an opportunity, and what a rich experience you probably bring to your audiences.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I mean, it was my first job out of college, going in the submarine force, and it was the hardest job in the world. It was the strongest culture I've ever been a part of. It's the most high performance team. And again, the stakes weren't, am I going to lose a client, or is my business going to shut down? These were life and death decisions. And I was 23 years old when I was doing this. So I was just like, everyone's doing this. And I look back on it, and it had such a foundational aspect on me. And then again, I just love serving and giving back. And if I can share these skills and tools, and I can accelerate someone else's leadership journey, because here's a strong belief that I have, because I get asked this question all the time about leadership.
Yeah.
Is leadership something that a few people are born with, or is it something that we learn? And my answer is it's yes to both of those, but with one caveat. Because I don't believe a few people are born with leadership. I believe each and every single one of us is born with a leadership toolkit inside. And it turns out what my experience has been is that it's not what we don't have, it's what we don't use. And over the past 35 years, being on elite level teams, helping to develop other countless elite level teams, this is the number one ingredient of those teams, is that you view everyone as a leader, and everyone views themselves as a leader. And then people are like, well, what do I do? Sprinkle pixie dust on someone? It's like, no, I actually have a framework that I was taught And if I can learn it, bottom 25% of my Navy class, if I can learn it, you can learn it too. And I've seen it countless times where people have been able to learn these leadership skills and tools and become the best version of themselves.
Right on. Yeah, really good stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that we need to be reminded of. It is we need to be reminded of what is possible. And so I love that. I love for people to hear, like, you do have it within you. You may
Yes.
be using it, you may not have tapped into it, but it's there. We need to cultivate it. We need to bring it out, and help you really stand in that. So love that
Because
messaging.
Fletcher, here's what it is a lot of times. Oh, I'm not a leader. Oh,
Yes.
that's someone else's, or that's someone else. It's like, no. You are a leader. And just think about like a company that has, say they have 1,500 employees in it. They describe themselves as 100 leaders leading 1,400 employees. It's competing against a company that views themselves as 1,500 leaders. Which one's going to win in the long run? Yeah, it's the one that views themselves as 1,500 leaders. And so, yes, it's inside of all of us. It just needs to be tapped into and awakened.
All right, Mark. The show is called Vision Pros Live. And so my next question for you is, what's your vision?
Yeah. So our vision, when we talk about vision, we talk about a period in time. So I'm going to give you what my mission is, and I'm also going to give you what the vision is. So I'll start with the mission, which you never get to. Our mission is to help people lead more purposeful and inspiring lives. That's in every single aspect of their life. And I envision a world where everyone views themselves as a leader. And just think about that. What if everyone viewed themselves as a leader, and then they had the skills in their life to be able to handle any situation that came their way, have individual readiness, but also how do you then have, in a dynamically changing environment, what in the submarine force we talked about was collective readiness. So we envision a world that's steeped in purpose, and people have the skills and tools to navigate any situation that comes their way, not just in business. There's challenges we have in our personal lives and our families and our communities. So I envision a world where everyone feels like they're deeply connected to something bigger than themselves. So, and we'll never, ever get there. So that's my mission or purpose. And then I'll share with you my vision though.
Yeah. I really like this idea of collective readiness, because we frequently focus on ourselves. Am I ready? Are you ready?
Right.
I love this concept of, are we ready? Is my community ready? Is my family ready? I like this concept a lot. Can you tell me, how might we go about influencing that in our communities?
Yeah. So I think, we've done this test, initially started with, in the business aspect. We've done this test with over 500 companies. So here's what we do. We ask them, what is your mission? Which is, you never get to. This has been described to me like Mother Teresa. Her mission was to love the poor, and she would never get to it because there would continue to be more poor people. And a vision is, hey, in 5 years, we're going to love 1.5 million people. So it's a time frame. So we ask companies, what is your mission? What's your vision? What's your top 3 annual goals? What's your top 5 values? How aligned do you think they are, Fletcher, on those 4 key topics? How aligned do you think they are?
I would say they're probably not very aligned.
Yeah. So when we ask them up front, we say, how aligned do you think you are as a team? Average is 68%. When we do the analysis, on average, a team on those 4 key things is only 9% aligned.
Whoa, that's a lot lower than I was expecting.
Yeah. Look, would you climb Mount Everest with a team that's only 9% aligned?
Whoa. No.
You just wouldn't. So how do we get people involved? First, it's about clarity. And what was happening for me, just for the audience, is that I was steeped in creating one-page business plans for companies that helped us to see very clearly all of these 4 things. And that's when I got tremendous success. I was not having a lot of success in the in my family aspect. I was telling my wife, hey, I'm working hard so we can have things, and this is what I'm supposed to do. And she said, hey, why don't we create a one-page family plan?
I love it.
That's what changed. That's why we've been married for 30 years. So she said, hey, and my thought was like, hey, if it's important for a company to have a mission statement, a vision, a set of values, and the top 3 annual goals, and a set of rituals, would it be important for a family to have that? And it's like, absolutely. And so I have these, basically I have one page. On the front of it is my one-page business plan. On the back of it's my one-page family plan. And if it's not on that plan, I get to say no to it.
Wow.
And so I think, and when you have to write it down and put it in on one page, and you have to, I didn't just create this and go, hey, here, family, right? We sat down and we went through stories of our history, and they were involved in it, and they're bought into it. Now, one of the things is, one of my daughters calls me, and when she's 22 years old, my middle daughter calls me and says, hey, I got a tattoo. And I'm like, huh? Right. But 6 months earlier, she asked me to write out our mission statement, which is make it a great day. We've shortened it to Miajda. So we just say Miajda to each other. Every day we talk to each other, we say Miajda, right? That means make it a great day. Whatever is going to be given to you today, get there. And so she shows me my handwritten on her right here. She has Miajda, and she looks at it every day. Now, if your daughter's going to get a tattoo, if it's the family mission statement, I felt a little better about that. So I think the number one thing you can do is clarity. It's what we say. We have a familywithpurpose.com. We have leadwithpurpose.com. But the number one thing we ask you to do is we ask you to sit down. We ask you to put together your mission statement, because once you do that and people care about what they do, they know how they belong to something bigger than themselves, everything else is a lot easier. Hey, I got to work out. I got to be healthy. I have to, do these things in business. If I give a crap about my job, and I know other people are in the same shared purpose and that same energy in the heart, then it's a lot easier. So I think the number one thing, people overlook this. They go, yeah, we have our mission statement. I always tell CEOs, well, tell me what's your mission statement. I said, do you know your mission statement? They say, oh yeah, I love it. Right. And then it's like, well, tell me what it is. And they're like this, they're grabbing the binder, right?
Yes.
Or they're looking on the wall going, and they're reading this 42-word thing. Yes. And it's like, no one remembers it. So I would just say the number one thing you have to do is get really clear on your mission statement. What I learned in the submarine force is our missions were always 2 words long. So the mission to go underneath the first submarine to go underneath the Nautilus to go to the North Pole, mission was Operation Sunshine. 2 words. Everyone could remember it. Is that everything you needed? No, but everyone knew, hey, we're on Operation Sunshine right now.
Yeah.
And so how do you code word it and have a code word mission statement?
I love that. This is really gold. And I invite our listeners to really take a moment and just ask yourself, do I have clarity in these key areas of my life? Do I have clarity in my marriage? Like, for instance, my wife and I, we're a big believer in defining who we are in our marriage, who we are in our finances. So for instance, in our marriage, because I went through a divorce, and I never, ever want to do that again.
Right.
When I entered into my second marriage, we both wanted to do it with massive intention.
Yes.
So we actually defined who we are in our marriage. So we're never going to, we're never going to wonder, like, gosh, who are we? Where?
Right.
So and I love that you said, like, yeah, most people can't. You just rattle off their mission statement or their about. But in my relationship, who we are in my marriage, this is who we are. Who we are is wide open communication, stronger than steel support, a living illustration of joy, connection, and contribution. So that's who we are. Wide open communication. We're stronger than steel support, a living illustration of joy, connection, and contribution. So I know who we are in our marriage.
Fantastic, Fletcher.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Because it becomes a guiding light for you.
Yes.
Right? If things are going off the rails, you can regroup quickly and easily. Wait a second. Let's say who we are. And it grounds you.
Yeah.
So I love what you're saying. Clarity is access to power. And the clearer you can get, the greater access you have to taking bold actions and creating the outcomes that you want in your life. Love what you're saying.
I would just add one thing. You know, Mel Robbins says clarity is kind.
That's a fun way to look at that. Clarity is kind. Yeah, cool, right?
Yeah, well, it's awesome.
Yeah. So, and the other thing that I'm really appreciating too is that, you know, your daughter who got the tattoo, the MIA or how'd you pronounce that again?
Oh, make it a great day. And
Yeah,
we just say miajda to each other.
Miajda. Yeah,
That's our best way. We think
yeah.
people think we're Italian or something. We're like, no, we're German.
Miajda.
Miajda.
So what's great about that is that you know, listening to you, you get the sense that your children have bought into this, right? Like this level of personal involvement, personal development, personal empowerment, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's so exciting when you see your children start to buy into it, and it impacts them. Our children all grew up with personal development, and they couldn't stand it at the time. But my 30-year-old, we were having a conversation recently, and she's like, I'm so glad we had that in our household, even though we resisted it early on, but it's actually made the difference for them.
Fletcher had the same exact experience.
Yeah, right.
It was this time, and then we're like, put together a one-page family plan. My kids knew I put together one-page business plans. They're sitting there with their eyes crossed. They don't want to participate. And we put together a set of personal goals based around mind, body, and spirit. And then it was like they would come to me privately and go, "Hey, can we check off that goal on the list?" And then, you know, it was on our refrigerator every Sunday. We looked at it. We were, hey, how do we do? It held me accountable. Like, hey, why aren't we doing 4 family dinners a week? But then it's exactly the same thing. They were like, hey, are we going to, you know, they came home from college one time and they go, hey, are we going to do our one-page family plan? I was like, oh gosh, that made my heart feel really good. So
I bet. Oh, that is so fun. Hey, I don't know if you ever share this, but I would love to see your one-page family plan. That'd be so cool and inspiring. Is that something you share?
It's go to familywithpurpose.com and you can have at it. So
and it's called familywithpurpose.com.
Yeah.
Familypurpose.com.
Sorry, family. So I have Lead with Purpose, which is our business one-page plan. Then we have Family with Purpose.
Oh, Family with Purpose.
Yeah. Someone was sitting on the URL, Fletcher, and we reached out to them. They wanted $10,000 and we offered them like $1,800. And they said, yes. I couldn't get my credit card out fast enough to go like, I'm fumbling with it going like, he better not change his mind.
Right on. So if you're listening to this and you're feeling inspired or curious about what this looks like, you can go to familywithpurpose.com. I'm going to go and check that out. I'm fascinated with this one-page family plan. And then also go to leadwithpurpose.com if you want to connect with Marc, find out more about what he does, or look into bringing him to your organization, because you can imagine he's going to deliver a powerful keynote. That's clear just from this brief conversation we're having. Marc, we're coming up against our time here. We have familywithpurpose.com, leadwithpurpose.com. You have your book, leadwithpurpose.com.
Yep. Leading with Purpose. I'll just show it right here.
Yeah. Leading with Purpose.
Yep. .com.
Get any last words before we say goodbye?
No, I mean, I would just say, you know, you wake up every single day. It's a tremendous gift. We have this time, and you know, I would just say, make it a great day.
Yeah, make it a great day. Absolutely.
The reason we say make it is not have. Have is passive. Make it means like, hey, we gotta get into it. We believe that like God's very involved in our lives, but we're like, hey, we can't just lay around. You know, he wants us to do stuff, and so we are. we are deeply steeped in that make it a great day, not have a great day.
Absolutely, right. There is action is required, right?
Yes. Yes.
So make it a great day, everybody. Get out there, be a source of kindness, be a source of contribution. You do have something to offer this world, and I believe in you.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.